We are live.
Okay. All right. I'd like to open the October 13th meeting of the Lackawanna County Regional Planning Commission. I am going to do a roll call, staff and board. Mary Liz is present. Jessica is present. Bob. Is Bob present, Mary Liz?
Yep, he's there.
Okay. Brenda's here. Right. Yep.
I'm here. Hi.
Hi, Brenda. Jerry.
Yes.
Okay. Harry.
Present.
Chet.
Present.
John.
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Carol, I know isn't here. Eric.
Eric had to do a PennDOT meeting, so he's not
Okay.
going to be with us.
Okay. All right.
And Rose.
And Rose. Oh, yeah, Rose. She's on my list here. Okay, Rose. Okay, good. All righty. Next thing is any public comment.
I did not receive any requests to join the meeting from the public.
Okay. I'm assuming everyone had a chance to review the minutes. Are there any comments on the minutes?
Move to accept.
Second.
Okay. Second. All right. Thank you. Okay, now we'll go to bills.
I think I have to take a vote on the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is my first time. I said, remind me. Okay, I'll approve, all in the approval of the minutes.
Aye.
Anyone, any nays? Nope. Okay, now we'll move on to bills.
Just a question. Do we need an approval to dispense of the minutes or dispense and accept? Is that the way
Okay.
it should be?
All right, sorry, Chet. Yes, acceptance of the minutes. Can I have an approval?
Yeah, dispense and accept. I make a motion.
Okay, Chet, and second,
I'll second it.
Tony. Okay, so moved. All right, now can we move on to bills?
As you can see, it was a busy month. We have a lot of travel reimbursements. I was in State College for the PMPEI training. And the four of us were at the APAPA conference in Lancaster. So that's all our reimbursements.
Move to approve, except for Donato's of travel, too much travel.
It wasn't a cheap conference this year, that's for
No,
sure.
it was not.
I'll
I second. I just have a question. I'm not familiar with the acronym, so if
Oh,
could you just tell me what you were at?
Yeah, APAPA stands for American Planning Association Pennsylvania Chapter. So they have an annual
Okay.
conference every year. It was in Lancaster this year.
Oh,
Next
right.
year it's in Scranton, and Cindy will be talking about that a little bit later on.
oh, wow. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
thank you.
Okay, any other bills?
That's it.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make a motion, Jerry Carey.
Okay,
second it, Rose
Broderick.
Rose, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay, communications.
Okay, so the majority of the communications, actually all but one, were for LSA grant support letters.
A lot of them.
Anybody has any questions, I could answer on them. And then the last one was actually from Jess to the company that's doing a gas and go at the Weiss Market in Scott Township. That was on our agenda last month. There were some minor revisions that we felt we didn't need to go through a whole new review. So we just sent them a letter saying that everything looked fine and, that was good enough.
Okay. Any questions or comments or concerns about communications? Okay, do I have to make an approval on that?
No, we just
Okay, I didn't
reviewed, they
think so.
already mailed out.
All right, sounds good. Okay, next, old business, transportation planning.
Okay, under administration, we did submit the second quarter invoice for 21-22. PennDOT did approve it, so we should be getting a reimbursement within the next few weeks. Under system planning, myself, Bob, and Eric went out with Pat McVeigh from Harrisburg Central Office on the HPMS quality review. That stands for Highway Performance Monitoring System. every 2 years, they kind of test us to make sure that we're doing that we're putting down the correct data on the certain road segments. So they had picked out 10 sites. Luckily, they were all within Scranton, so we didn't have a lot of traveling to do. Just check to see that the data we're recording is actually what's there. And it's basically the number of lanes, lane width, whether there's curbs, sidewalks, stop signs, traffic lights, any historic buildings along the route. So things like that. He didn't have any issues with this. This was from last year's program. So hopefully we'll be getting a report on that shortly from him. Myself, Jess, Bob, and Eric participated in PennDOT virtual meeting on the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Initiative. They're really pushing the electric vehicles with the bipartisan law. They're going to have a local stakeholders meeting up at the 911 Center in Jessup on October 25th. So if anybody's interested in going, let me know. I could send you the flyer. There's a link on there where you have to register to attend. The state's plan is the first phase of the funding that they're getting is for the interstates, every 50 miles of a charging station within a mile off the interstates. And then the remaining funds will be a competitive amongst anybody else looking for any type of electric vehicle improvements.
Right, good.
Myself and Eric attended a Anita Moves meeting at the Century Club, which I understand is going to be their new headquarters. We had the micro transit was a big topic, and Luzerne County Transit is really interested in this, and that's the last mile kind of from the bus stop to get you to the employment centers. They're working with a company that has an app that you could kind of call up a ride or something like that. They're looking to do a pilot in the Hanover Industrial Park to start to see how that works. Myself, Jess, Bob, and Eric participated in a webinar on the National Coalition on Truck Parking. A few months ago, we did one on the I-81 corridor. Basically, the whole country's in the same boat with the truck parking. So we heard from California, Colorado, another state, basically what they're doing. And like I said, it's basically the same all over the country. The truck parking is just, I don't want to say out of control, but it's increasing, and there's a need to figure out what to do with it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Brenda, myself, Eric, Bob, Jess, we all participated in the MPO Quarterly Meeting, October 5th. That was also up at the 911 Center. Some highlights, we had updates on the trail networks from the DNL Trail, which is down in Luzerne County, and then the Heritage Trail up here. We discussed a little bit, the Wilkes-Barre is interested in reestablishing rail line to Philadelphia. That's in its infancy at this point, but we just had a discussion on that. We've done some road safety reviews with PennDOT where we go out at certain intersections that they pick and just look at what's going on there and what improvements they're suggesting, and if we agree with them or have any other ideas. So we did those both for Lackawanna and Luzerne. In Lackawanna County, we did Mount Cobb Corners. We did 632 and 247 up in Montdale, and then up the hill there at Green Grove Road where Reaper's Revenge is. That's a bad intersection up there. And then we also went over to Fairview Road and North Abington Road in Clark's Green. Bob has finished the functional class. It's submitted to Harrisburg for their approval. Luzerne County actually submitted theirs in January. They have not heard back yet, so I don't anticipate we're going to hear back for quite a while on ours as well.
Jeez.
Bob and Eric are working on the HPMS for this year. That has to be done by the end of November, but they're progressing nicely on that. There will be no issues getting that done in time. Brenda, Mary, or myself, Brenda, myself, Jess, and Eric went to the kickoff, or actually it was virtual, the kickoff meeting for the Eastern Freight study with the other 4 MPOs in the eastern part of the state, Lehigh Valley, NEPA, Berks County, and Lebanon County. Again, Lehigh Valley is the lead agency running this study. We met with the consultant WSP of Philadelphia just to discuss the project. They're going to be doing freight profiles, needs and deficiencies, and then recommendations. And hopefully this is all going to be wrapped up by September of next year. And then Bob's going to give you just a blurb on, he attended a bike network meeting up at the Boy Scouts office.
Yes, so it was a meeting with representatives from, I think, 5 or 6 different counties in the Northeast region. So the PEC is looking to put together a region-wide cycling network as far as, trails, off-road trails, on-road, anything they can get in there. So most of the meeting was us just double checking what they had already on their maps to make sure they had, a solid foundation to start with. And then we spent some time going over different challenges that we've come across, getting people on bikes, getting, municipal leadership to support projects, and some time brainstorming what we can do to overcome those challenges. So.
Okay, any questions on transportation before we move on to the other projects?
No.
No.
Nope.
On to SAPA then?
Okay, so SAPA, nothing since our last meeting. We did meet with the group in early September. The city said that they were hoping to have everything wrapped up by the end of the year, so fingers crossed. Scranton to New York passenger rail, again, we have not heard anything yet since Amtrak has assumed the lead in this project. Hazard mitigation, we did hear from FEMA. The FEMA actually started awarding the hazard mitigation grants. However, we are still in the pending status. My guess is because we asked for additional funding to do some additional studies that they're still looking that over yet. So hopefully, he said, they had said that they did not anticipate that FEMA would not approve anybody's plan. So we're just waiting. The Northern Lackawanna Planning Group, the NORLAC group, we have 6 of the 7 officially committed to the project. Our lone holdout is Fell Township. They just rewrote their ordinance 2 years ago, and they think it's a waste of money, is what they said. We're trying to talk them into the importance of having the comprehensive plan and the benefits of having that. We actually offer to reduce their portion of the cost by half because their ordinance really wouldn't need to be updated other than a little tweaking with the land uses. They did not say yes, they did not say no. So we're giving them another month to make a decision. Unfortunately, if they decide not to, and I'm not too confident that they are at this point, if they decide not to, Bandling is out because they're not contiguous with anybody else and they're not part of the same school district. So they're out. And it's unfortunate because they really wanted to do this.
All right. My suggestion was going to be to offer them a lower rate based on whatever formula you use. When did they update their comp plan? Did they do it when they did their zoning?
No, the comp plan is over 20 years old.
Okay, so
Wow.
are they aware that they are challengeable in court because they didn't update the plan?
Yep. We told them that. We also told them they would be at a disadvantage now for grants because all of their neighbors are participating in a regional plan,
Right.
and they would get the advantage over them for not participating.
Mary Liz, what's the total cost?
For
For-
them or for everybody?
Yeah, for them.
We reduced it to $3,500 over a 2-year period.
So it's not really about
Would
the
that be for the
cost.
zone? I'm sorry, Rose.
It's not really about the cost.
Would that be just for the zoning ordinance portion? Because this plan is going to do a comp plan and update the zoning ordinances, right?
Correct. That's for the comp plan and just tweaking the zoning.
You got to be kidding me.
$3,500, and they could spread it over a 2-year budget period. So $1,750 per year.
I agree with Rose. Something else is going on because they could never get a comprehensive plan done on their own.
No.
They couldn't get a zoning ordinance done
They
for that.
couldn't. And if they're challenged because their comp plan and their zoning ordinance aren't meshing, they're going to lose a lot of money in court. That's ridiculous.
Who are you communicating with? Is there someone else you can communicate with?
Well, the Board of Supervisors and their solicitor, he said somebody else did, there's another, Donnie Karpovich wrote their zoning for them, their new one. And they're listening to Donnie, and I'm getting the impression that Don is not in favor of this.
Well, maybe we could talk to Don, Mary Liz. I mean, we've known him well enough from all the sessions he did for us.
Right.
And maybe explain to him maybe they're not conveying, and he may know, I don't know, but
Right,
it wouldn't hurt to reach out to him.
It's worth a shot.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah, because that's like nothing, that cost.
right.
That's ridiculous.
I know it is, it is.
Mhm.
And on the same lines, I actually had a meeting last night with the North Pocono COG. 8 of the 9 municipalities in the North Pocono region were at the meeting. Moscow had asked us to come up and present on regional planning because they're looking to update their comp plan, and they wanted to see if there was any interest to do a regional plan there. Believe it or not, all 8 communities are interested.
Wow.
Wow.
The one that wasn't in attendance was Thornhurst, and I actually spoke with them about a month ago, and they are interested as well. They probably just couldn't make the meeting last night. They're going back to the boards of supervisors and the councils to officially get a yay or nay on participating in a cost estimate. We will be meeting back in January with the COG to see how many are definitely want to do it, and then we'll move forward again with the cost estimate like we did with the Norlac group. So
Excellent.
yeah, so Norlac we're doing applying for the funding in January, and then hopefully this group either later next year or the following year for the North Pocono region. So conceivably with SAPA and Norlac and North Pocono, if they move forward, we could conceivably have 25 of our 40 municipalities involved in regional and cooperative zoning,
Wow.
which was
That's
unheard of
amazing.
20 years ago, right?
Right?
Absolutely.
We've come a long way.
Yeah. Excellent.
And then the last item on the agenda, myself and Jess, and I know Cindy, you'll be there. We're having our kickoff meeting tomorrow for the planning conference, which is, like I said earlier, is in Scranton next year.
Right. Yeah, it's our first meeting, and we have a good amount of representation. A few people from our original committee in 2 years ago did not want to participate this year, but for the most part, we have a pretty good showing of people. Mary Liz, thank you for coming up with the theme. She came up with several, all good, and we chose that one. So it's in the beginning stages, but we'll be moving along, probably monthly meetings from this point on. And we've already toured the Hilton, and it's going to be a great place to have it. There will be some overflow just for rooms at Radisson, and then we already have some subcommittee members. So we're going to work on it more tomorrow. So we're looking forward to putting this together, and hopefully no more pandemic.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll actually have it this time, right? Let's hope.
Right, hopefully, yeah. Sounds good.
Cindy, are you looking for sponsors?
Yes,
And Mary Liz, would the Scranton Area Community Foundation be approached for something like this?
they are.
I would imagine.
Planning
Vivian
so
Williams.
important.
Vivian Williams is
on the
our
committee?
She won't be able to make the meeting tomorrow. Her son has a dentist appointment, and he's got to be like put under, so she's got to be there. But she is on our
Good.
committee.
Good.
We'll reach out to her. But thank you for that. Okay, that's it on old business. I'm sorry for my ignorance. Do we need a motion on any of that?
No.
No,
that's
okay,
just-
all right. Okay, well, I'm going to move on to new business.
Okay, so for the development reviews, like I said, it was a slow month. We didn't have too much going on. So Jess just has one to talk about, and Bob has one. So the first one that Jess is going to talk about is the Diocese of Scranton, page 13.
Thanks, Mary Liz. Yeah, so the Diocese of Scranton, again, this is on page 13, like Mary Liz said. This is the proposed subdivision of a 1.75 acre parcel into 2 separate parcels. So this is Nativity of Our Lord Church. What they're proposing to do is separate the church facility and what I assume is the rectory from what was previously used as the school. I think that's fronting on, so sorry.
Orchard
Street.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. So they're proposing to do that. They did include a 10-foot access easement at the rear of the church to allow them to continue access to the rear of that building. My only major concern is located on page 14. It's item number 1. When they split the parcel in half, both of the buildings now will be encroaching into what will become the rear yard setback. They do have a provision in their zoning ordinance saying that no subdivision can be created that would cause a building or a lot to not meet the variance zoning requirements. And they actually explicitly say in their setback areas. So I've noted that there. And then item number 3 as well. I just had some concerns about what the uses were and if this separation was going to affect any kind of required parking. But there is parking on Hertz Court directly across from the church facility. So I'm not sure if maybe that is reserved for the church parking. It wasn't included on the plan, so I just thought that note was important.
So that school's actually closed. So we're kind of thinking maybe they're going to use it for apartments or, some kind of future plans there.
Yep, that's all I have on that one. Does anyone have any questions?
I mean, they could get relief if they went to the zoning board, right,
Yes.
Jessica?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen this before where they create and they go in and they ask for variances, and they're usually granted because it's existing conditions,
Right.
Okay, so it's
Same,
not.
John.
it's-
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, John, same thing. We're always faced, especially to settle an estate, when in some cases it's more egregious where you don't have the frontage and they have two houses on the same lot. And you have to grant, at one time, ordinances addressed flag lots, but many of them have done away with that. So there's nothing you could do. Everything's existing, and you have to separate buildings, and there's not a lot that could be done. I agree with you, John.
So that's their relief. They do have relief to make the thing approvable,
Right.
Okay.
Okay, and then the only other
Thank you.
thing we have is page 27, a amendment to the subdivision ordinance in North Abington.
All right, so that was intended to amend the definition of a minor subdivision and the plan requirements. So the definition was really just updating the base year for as far as can divide it up to 4 lots before it becomes a major. They were just moving that up to 2,000 from, I think, the 1970s. I'm not sure. Other than that, the formatting of it was horrible. It came in backwards and just all jumbled. Yeah, so I had to sort that all out. And as far as the second note there, the proposed general notes, supporting documentation, etc., as near as I can tell, they go right under section 204A. So I'm not sure. I mean, they weren't labeled as anything, so I don't know if they were included in that or if they're intended to be a separate section. So just asking for clarification there. And then they amended the section 205, which is major subdivision and land development, to also require the information from section 204, which is just updated. And there were a few conflicts, so I just called those out. The the scale requirements and the contour intervals. Other than that, it was okay, I guess.
It was a messy okay.
Yeah. Also, little
Aside from all the stuff that
Yeah,
was
the
wrong,
last
so it was
page was
pretty
the
good.
first page, and then
wow, you earned your money on that one. Okay, that's it on the development reviews.
That is it. Yep.
Okay, and then we'll move on to the PM.
So we do need a motion on those.
Yeah, we need to vote on
Okay,
this.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can I have a motion to approve, please?
I'll make the motion to approve Jerry Carey.
And
Tom
second,
Pocious, I'll second.
John, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So moved. Now the PMPEI train the trainer certification.
Yes, I actually completed that on the community planning program. It was 3 days in State College. There were 9 of us in the class this year. I know you probably know Judy Acosta, Cindy, from Middle Smithfield.
Yeah, I know the name. Yeah.
Yeah, she had done the short-term rental.
Oh, right.
program.
Yeah.
She was
Okay.
there. So she's herself and me were the only 2 from the Northeast that were there. There was a good crowd from the southeast part of the state and somebody from
Always.
and somebody from the Northwest, from the city of Meadville in Crawford County.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad we had at least, more than one. So. that's
Yeah.
good.
So that went really well. I'm excited about, about being able to teach that down the road. So
Sure. Yeah. So that'll add to Who's left? Because I know Carson's retired. Peter's left, and the
Peter.
Stan still do some,
Dan does a little bit. Yeah.
and Jack Varali, right?
Jack, he did it. I don't know if he's still doing it. I know he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, we don't have too many in this region, I don't think.
Right.
So that's gonna be a big help. Good. Excellent. Okay, no motion needed, right?
No, that's just a report.
Okay, next, any other business?
No.
Nope. Okay, any public comment? Nope, okay. Then I guess I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Was that Rose? Okay.
Yes, Rose.
All right, second?
I'll
Second.
second you. Jerry.
Good job, Cindy.
Okay, well, thanks. I'm
Yes,
making notes
sir.
here, what needs motions, what doesn't, so I'll hopefully do better next time, but.
Hey, Rose, you got 3 minutes to spare before you have to leave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this
All right.
worked
Have a
out.
great day, everyone.
You
All
too.
right,
Thank
very
you.
good. Have a good
Bye.
one. Bye-bye now.
You guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.